Hi, Cory here from Paramount Properties. Today we're in the Paramount Blue Room, as you can see, with our lovely blue walls. Today we're going to be talking about the lettings market. It's our monthly update. And we just want to give you that consistent value, not just with what's going on right now, because a lot's changed, but also potentially what's coming up in the next 3 and 6 months. So if we look at major trends of what we're seeing lately, what's going on in the capital and in the London property rental market, I think the biggest one for me is just the movement again. We're seeing a lot of residents moving overseas and we're seeing a lot of residents coming into the capital. Big demands and kind of big sort of must-haves from most residents is the outside space is nice, but it's not as critical as where it was maybe a year ago for obvious reasons, but the work from home is key. So when we're presenting a property, we need to have that in mind, because if we can stage it in a way and we can kind of be sensible with how we approach those demands, you're going to rent much faster and you're going to have a higher resident demand for your property. In terms of what people would be willing to pay a little bit more for and what's kind of more important to them in their next home, longevity and stability are really important right now. People are actually utilizing their homes differently. So it used to be a little bit more of, that's my base and it needs to be nice and I definitely need that tube to connect to the office and whatnot. Now it's more, I'll be working from home 3 days a week. I'd like to be closer to a park to walk my dog. Those kind of things, I think people have changed the way they've lived. So in terms of what we can do and what our owners can do, what you guys can do is, I think the focus now in a difficult landscape with energy bills going much higher, cost of fuel, general inflation, I myself, and I'm hearing more from our residents, is, hey, actually, we're going to be spending more time at home. We won't be eating out as much. We can't afford, or we don't want to spend on going overseas for vacation. We're going to stay in the UK. We're going to stay local. So I think if we can tailor it and be a little bit more open to potentially pets, that's a huge one. If you can be open to dogs and cats, our furry friends, then absolutely you're going to be able to secure more residents. And I think you're going to secure them longer term. And I also think the taboo of, a pet will cause loads of damage. I don't think you'll have as many issues as you might expect. And absolutely that will encourage people to come to your home. So if you're an owner with a property in the market right now, some things for you to consider. Demand is incredibly high, so it's great news. It's a good time from an owner's point of view, because obviously we have seen rents majorly dip, but they are bouncing back now, which is good. What I'm hearing and what we're seeing regularly is that international clientele base, sometimes their expectations don't match our properties. For example, I've been out with a lot of Americans lately and they're reminding me how small our properties are. So what can we do to combat that? We've got some Japanese and Chinese residents, and the rules are different in those countries. For example, in Japan, it's just expected that you get a property perfect and you leave it perfect. So they get very surprised when they see properties not freshly painted and those kind of things. As an owner, if you can invest a little bit in your home, I know sometimes it's not always possible, but even just a fresh coat of paint, you're going to attract many more residents, and that's going to have an impact on your longevity of tenancy and also on the final rent, which hopefully will be much improved versus recent years. So you may be an owner with a rental property coming back to the market in the next 2 or 3 months. And I know that historically that seems like it's not very much time. But the piece of advice that I'm here to say, and the kind of the market update from what we're seeing on the ground, is that it's more than enough time. We can actually slow things down because we have the combination of strong market demand plus the way that Paramount approaches what we actually do and how we represent you and market your home for those best results. So for example, when we slow it down, when we're not rushing to get it live, which is sometimes the mistake that can be made, we have time to look at your home, talk to you, figure out a strategy. What do you need from this home? And in most cases lately, I would say over the last 3 to 4 months, when we've seen this shift in the London property market, we put the property live, We choose your best residents. We pick, the 7 or 8 that we know are going to match you. And like I say, it's really important that the home matches them as well. And then we do 1 open house, and often we're seeing multiple offers from that open house, and you're saying that's the one for me. So hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's added a little bit of value and given you some good information, and check in with us next month and we'll have a brand new update.